radar all day. This will continue to move to the east toward Phalanx and Braceville and Delightful. So 647 right now in Windham, 653 in Phalanx, 655 for Braceville, getting into Delightful at 658, and that is in Trumbull County. So we're going to cross over the county line, the black line right here, into Trumbull County. Not only have we seen this wind circulation that has picked up in intensity, we've had hail that's showing up on radar as well. This is an intense thunderstorm, and this is a very intense signature that has just popped here on the radar as part of a larger wave that has been moving through with the severe thunderstorms that we were tracking just within the last half hour that are also moving through. So we have a broad rotation that is sitting here in central portions of Geauga County that was associated with some gusty winds and some very heavy rain, strong to severe thunderstorm that was moving through areas south of 322, Route 322. And then you head down to 422, and then the turnpike gets into Portage County. So now we have this circulation that is here just south of the turnpike in Portage County, just before the Trumbull County line, and that is the area where we have the greatest concern. You can kind of see the difference between the two. This is a much broader area of rotation. It basically covers the whole south central part of Geauga County. This is much more localized, much more confined, and that's why we have much greater concern that we have the potential for a tornado to drop at any moment if it is not already dropped here in Windham. This then, yes, go ahead.
Switch over to coefficient CC real quick and see if we can pick up. I've been tracking a couple scans with this near wind.
Yep.
See if we have maybe some indications of possible debris.
Debris, right there. So what this is the radar, and hold still, let's just hold this right now. This is the radar showing what we are seeing up in the atmosphere, and it's sampling not only the direction it's going and the speed it's going, it's seeing how it relates to other things around it. And what we are seeing here is that some of these things are not like the others, and this is the possibility of debris. So debris possible on radar. This would then kick it up to potentially, and Matt Wintz is here with me too. Matt, if you'll keep an eye on the chat for us, that would be a radar confirmation of a tornado on the ground possibly just to the west of Windham. So if you are in Windham, please get into your safety spots right now. We do have the potential for this tornado on the ground. It is showing debris on radar right now. This will continue to move off to the east toward where Route 82 and the Turnpike cross, and that's over into Trumbull County and the Braceville area. Let's kick it back over to Weather 1 if we could, and I'm going to get back on this velocity data, and we're going to just really keep a close eye on this. Folks, this is not showing any signs of weakening right now. As a matter of fact, I think if anything, it's showing signs of actually picking up in intensity. I'm going to get real close in here on Windham. So this is our circulation that we are concerned with that is just crossing North Main Street right now, and it is crossing the Turnpike too. So this circulation has lifted north of the Turnpike. So this will stay north of Braceville now, and we're going to take it up over 82 in extreme eastern portions of Portage County into western sections of Trumbull County along 534. So we are in Windham right now. We're going to cross over into Trumbull County and head up towards Southington and Braceville. So right here along 534 between Southington and Braceville, this is likely radar confirmation of a tornado on the ground right now, continuing to move to the east. Phalanx, 6:55 p.m. Please, folks, get into your safety spots. And this tornado warning was issued by the National Weather Service. The colors have changed, and they have now issued that as a considerable threat for a tornado. So that would mean we have a tornado on the ground. It is radar confirmed on the ground right now. And you can see that it does continue to move up to the northeast. So now we're north of the Turnpike in extreme eastern sections of Portage County, north of Windham. That threat is now out of town, so it has crossed northeast of you, Southington, and then up toward 422, where 422 and 534 meet, just south of Southington. That's where this thing is headed. It's headed right over toward 422. So if you are in Champion, areas west of Champion, south of Southington, to the west of Leavittsburg, that's that corner, that little part of of Trumbull County that we are most concerned with right now, as we had the uptick in not only that circulation, we also had debris on radar. And you can see right here, there it is, that's our circulation. And the National Weather Service even upgrading the tornado warning to a considerable threat type of a tornado warning. We're still seeing some signs that there may be debris on the radar right now. So we saw a much bigger picture, a much bigger batch of that earlier over Wyndham. And now this continues to move to the east. It is just about to cross over into Trumbull County. And just to kind of get you oriented, this is Mosquito Creek out here, Cortland and Champion. So that's Mosquito Creek if you ever head out this way. The city of Warren sits right here. I think this will stay northwest of the city of Warren, and obviously well northwest of Youngstown and Lordstown itself. Vienna is over here on the other side then of Trumbull County, over toward the state line a little bit more. But certainly this has gotten a quick uptick in intensity, and that happened very quickly. We were watching it here in the Weather Center. So this circulation, again, it is showing signs that it is starting to broaden out just a pinch. But it is definitely still very much circulating and continuing to move off to the northeast. And as it does so, we still have that possibility that we're going to get some damage that occurs. There it is right there. You can kind of see how it spins right into the Wyndham area. And as it does so, we get that big uptick in the possibility of that damage. And if you saw just a couple minutes ago, we had that big orange line that came through. That, unfortunately, was probably the first bits of our debris that was lofted into the atmosphere. We are still getting a lot of lightning, very heavy rain falling with this, so you're likely not going to be able to see it. These rain rates have been really incredible with these storms today, and you can see where this thing is just absolutely wringing out the moisture. So we not only have very heavy rain, meaning a rain-wrapped tornado, but we also have that lightning, we have that thunder, and we did see some hail reports on this one not too long ago, but it looks like that hail maybe not showing up right now on the radar, but certainly we have had quite a last 10 minutes with this circulation that ticked up. So Wyndham is here, Southington, Braceville, over toward Champion. The tornado, which I believe was on the ground, we had damage, so we're going to call it a radar confirmed tornado, crossed over I-80, which of course is the turnpike, crossing over 82, and just now about to cross into western sections, far western sections of Trumbull County right now. And the National Weather Service saying that they saw the same things that we did live on the air, and they decided to go ahead and upgrade that tornado warning to the, quote, considerable threat. So that is the dark purple. We tried to color code these as best we could. So it's a dark purple tornado warning with the red outline. That's the considerable threat. And that basically means it's confirmed, it's destructive, and it's a considerable threat for the areas that we have been outlining. So Wyndham and Southington and Braceville, generally areas right here headed up toward Champion. If we draw that direct line between Wyndham and Champion in extreme eastern Portage County and then over into extreme western portions of Trumbull County, that is where we have those bigger issues right now with the possibility of that tornado continuing to move to the east. Now, farther to the north, we have had a severe thunderstorm warning that is issued for the rest of Geauga County, northern sections of Trumbull County, and also southern Ashtabula County. And this is where we're starting to get into where we've already had rain coming down throughout the day today, but we have the possibility of not only some small hail, but some high wind gusts coming into this. That does include Hartsgrove, the 322 corridor that continues off into Pennsylvania then. Mesopotamia is in that severe thunderstorm warning, but the tornado warning is just a little bit farther to the south. Matt, I know you're here, and I know that's hometown for you. So if you want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, they have a tornado possible tag with that.
Okay.
We've been watching that rotation. It hasn't been particularly dense. The storm is rotating, but not exactly, you know, on the level that that southern storm is. But Bets, the latest couple scans of that storm heading into Southington right now, it looks like the rotation has broadened out a little bit, which is a good sign. Could be recycling though, so you still need to be in a safe place there. That will head out just north of Champion and then eventually into the Mecca area. So we're going to keep close tabs on that storm. But our friends in Geauga and southern Ashtabula County, as you mentioned, we need to keep an eye on that storm moving in because there still is some rotation near the Burton area right now. Again, it's not a tight rotation, but there is some, and that will translate out towards Hartsgrove and Windsor out in Ashtabula County here shortly.
Absolutely. All right, so the tornado-warned storm, the considerable tornado-warned storm that was issued for the Windham area. Windham, you are now severe clear, but we are headed toward Klondike. 7:05, 7:09 for Cortland, 7:15 for Johnston, Gustavus at 7:18, and Kinsman at 7:22. Then it will continue to move out into Pennsylvania. Matt mentioned the northern storm, which also has been showing some signs of broad rotation, but big thunderstorms rotate. That's going to happen. We have to watch for those smaller scale rotations. That's when we really get the tornado possibilities ticking up. And as we just saw with what happened in Windham, it can happen very quickly. So you definitely want to stay on top of things. Stoneville, 7:07, Orwell, 7:13, 7:21 in Roaming Shores, 7:28 for Lenox, and 7:33 for Dorset. That storm will continue to move to the east. And again, that is the severe thunderstorm warning that is for that particular location. The circulation that is now in portions of Trumbull County. So Portage County, you are now severe clear. Windham, you're out of it. That storm has moved out, but we still have circulation that is happening here in the northwestern corner of Trumbull County. This is northwest of the city of Warren. Warren is not in this tornado warning right now, or at least in the path of this tornado. The tornado will stay just north of Warren as it gradually continues to move its way to the northeast up toward the Mecca area in about the next half hour or so. We'll put a quick storm track on this and take this out approximately 30 minutes. And there you see 7:08 for Klondike. We have 7:12 for Cortland, 7:18 for Johnson, and 7:21 for Gustavus. If we could drop the banner, please, so we can see those times and so folks can read those at home. And these thunderstorms are moving roughly at about 40 miles per hour. So that's the timing of this track, maybe off earlier, which is worse, or later, but certainly the direction that things are going is east-northeast with this particular cell as it continues to move. So the National Weather Service just put out an alert that they killed, or they canceled the tornado warning for Portage County. They're continuing the tornado warning for central portions and northern portions of Trumbull County. And we also have the severe thunderstorm warning that continues for Geauga County, Ashtabula County, and extreme northwestern sections of Trumbull County. So a lot happening in a short amount of time here, and these thunderstorms just tick up. Look at this signature that's showing up on the radar. All right, so you have to think, like when you run your hand through water, and on either end of where your hand has been, there's little ripples, right? And there's little whirlpools. You can make little whirlpools. It's pretty cool. So if you can imagine, the storm is pushing all of this air out ahead of it, and there's a little whirlpool on the end of it. It's called a bookend vortex, and that is what we are seeing right there. This is a little hook, and that is where this particular circulation is located. It's showing up beautifully on, this is called the reflectivity data. So this is literally the radar just picking up where things are and the density of it, you know, how closely together things are. And then you start to break it down into the other data products. So if we go over to the velocity data, now not only are you seeing where things are, you're seeing how quickly it's moving, indicated by bright colors, and you're also seeing the direction that it's moving in relation to toward or away from the radar based on what color it is. So greens are heading toward the radar, reds are headed away, and so you can kind of draw a little bit of a circulation right there. That circulation in southern sections of Geauga County, southeast Geauga County, looks like it's starting to tighten up a little bit to me. Matt agrees on that, Anthony too. And then the circulation that is in Trumbull County is actually beginning to weaken and broaden out, which is a good thing. We don't want those things to start to circulate even tighter. But if we back it out, and I'll show you this is pretty slick how this starts to work. If we put this into motion, you can watch how these two circulations have been acting right there as they're moving off to the east. You could clearly see the circulation, and it's on the end of this vortex. So basically we have one wave that is pushing from west to east that was moving through Geauga County, and that caused this circulation here. So you have this push of, like pushing the water, you push the water here and you get a circulation here, and then on the southern end of that there would be another circulation. The problem is we had another push farther south into Portage County, which also had a circulation on it, and the two may have worked together at just the right time to feed in, and that's when we got that tornado. So Champion, right now you have a possible tornado in your neighborhood as this circulation continues to move to the northeast. We're keeping a close eye on this one. It broadened out a little bit, but we may be starting to see it come back together just a little bit. Typically in these type of atmospheric setups, we will get quick spin up tornadoes that are not long lived, so it's a good thing. They kind of take best advantage of the moment the atmosphere is in their favor, and then they use up all of that favor and it's gone. So they just kind of dissipate very quickly. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. The one that is in Trumbull County right now between Bristol and Champion is becoming a little bit more diffuse. It's starting to broaden out a little bit, but we're still seeing this middle field circulation holding together pretty well. That is a severe thunderstorm, though. That is not yet, if it's going to be, been kicked up into a tornado warning, but we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for that. We're still on a tornado warning, however, for portions of Trumbull County, specifically coming into Champion right now. So this is just coming out of Portage County into Trumbull County. This will continue to move through Champion, and as Matt mentioned just a moment ago, it's kind of headed up toward the Mecca area. I'm going to track the southern flank of this and take it out to the east-northeast, and again about 40 miles per hour or so. So 711 for Klondike. Klondike keeps showing up in this. So folks, if you are in Klondike, hopefully you are in your safety spots. 715 for Cortland, 721 for Johnston, and 724 for Corinth. As this whole circulation continues to move out toward the state line area, we are going to be headed over toward Pymatuning. So there's a lot of folks that have knowledge of that area because, of course, of the lake and the parks and whatnot. So hopefully everybody is very well aware. If you know anybody that lives out this way, give them a call and tell them that they've got this heavy weather that's moving in. My guess, though, is that they know, because we have been dealing with all of the lightning and the thunder that has been coming along with us. And you can see we're still dealing with very intense rainfall and the lightning and thunder that is coming through as this cluster of storms continues to move from west to east about 40 miles per hour. I'm going to broaden the picture out just a little bit to show you that areas west have been cleared from the tornado watch. So areas west of I-77 no longer have the tornado watch. That does include the city of Cleveland, and look what's on the horizon. We're even starting to see some clearing. So if you're in the thick of things right now and you're in Ashtabula County or Lake County, Trumbull County, Geauga County, Portage County, and you're thinking, man, then when is this going to end? It's coming. It's just going to take a little time. We're seeing that sun on the horizon here in Cleveland. We have some scattered showers throughout Stark County, Carroll County, Tuscarawas County. That's where our last tornado warning was. You are severe clear now. So that is some great news for you folks. Hopefully you'll be off to a much calmer, quieter evening. The heaviest lightning, thunder, and biggest storm threat right now, at least as far as upgrowth of storms, is over into western Pennsylvania, and thankfully we will not have to deal with that so much. But definitely these two areas of circulation that we are dealing with in northern Trumbull County and then now just crossing over into Ashtabula County, that is where we will continue to most certainly keep our focus and keep attention as we cross over into the 7 o'clock hour. Jimmy and Laura are standing by right now, so as soon as we are cleared from this, we will be able to turn things over to them to give you the very latest on Front Row. But for now, we just still have this area where we are dealing with these two circulations. Just now coming through Huntsburg, headed across the county line into Ashtabula County, the Orwell area. Hartsgrove, you are in here right along US 6. And then farther to the south, Bristol and Champion. I'm seeing just a little bit of that rotation coming back here just on the north end of Champion now. I'm going to track that because that is actually starting to pick up a little bit, getting some brighter colors back in there. What was that?
Coalition coefficient as well.
Okay, so our debris may be back. So
yeah,
Mecca at 716, there it is, right there, you can see it. So Anthony's been keeping a close eye on all that. We may have a little bit of, well, that's farther north though, so that may actually be a little hail contamination possibly, but this could be debris showing up. Anthony, while you're on this picture, will you scooch up just a little bit up toward Hartsgrove? We'll cross the county line. I want to take a peek on this same thing. Yep, keep going north, there we go. Okay, we don't have anything going on up here. That's good. So I just wanted to make sure we didn't have anything there. So perfect. All right. So back here to Mecca at 716, 721 for Johnston, Gustavus at 725, Kinsman at 729, and Orangeville at 732. That is the circulation that came through Windham and was a radar verified tornado on the ground. We did have debris that showed up on radar with that, so we'll get some news crews out on that. That is definitely ticking up. I'm going to get in on the radar a little bit closer to show everybody. So Cortland, I would give everybody in Cortland a big heads up. This is in Champion now, just north of Champion. And this is going to continue to head up right toward Mecca and Cortland. So if we continue on this like kind of east-northeasterly path, Mecca, Cortland, and Johnston in Trumbull County, this is starting to circulate a little bit better now, getting better organized, coming back where we have that possibility that we are getting tornado producing again, or another tornado that's coming out of this storm, if not wall cloud or whatnot. We did have, again, that possible, I'm going to just say it's a confirmed tornado from back in Windham because we saw debris. I'm not seeing that same debris right now on my product. Anthony has a little bit different view of it on his, but we certainly are seeing that circulation showing up, and it's picking up in intensity in Champion right now. So right on the north end of Champion, just north of 305, State Route 305 goes through Champion from west to east, and then it looks like 45 from north to south. We are going to just see this thing cross right over 45 and head out in the general direction of Mecca and Cortland at about 40 miles per hour or so. Just to kind of keep up with these updates as it's crossing 45 and moving off to the east-northeast. Maybe we pick up a few new cities in here and towns and burgs. 711 in Willdare, 714 for Klondike, and 718 in Cortland. Klondike, you keep coming back in this time and time again. I don't know if Klondike is moving or what, but man, you are right there. So hopefully folks are taking the proper precautions. This is definitely cycling. We're definitely seeing some circulation. So that is a much better defined signature right now on radar. So this would be another tornado potential right now in Trumbull County between Bristol and Champion. So if you're in Mecca and Cortland, safety spots. If you're between Champion and Mecca, so this whole area here from Bristol to Mecca, Champion to Cortland, please get into your safety spots. Basements are best, definitely.
We're getting possible reports of a touchdown. This is near 422 west of Cortland. Several minutes ago, rotation lining up around Cortland right now, but possible rotation. Something on the ground.
That's the rotation. We're right on it. And so 422 kind of comes back out to this direction. So we're definitely west of Cortland still. And Champion sits right here. And we are just north of Champion here in central portions of Trumbull County. Thank you, Anthony. Please keep an eye on that because they are posting some really good updates for us. And so trying to see Mosquito Creek State Park right there. It's going to come into Mosquito Creek State Park. And as it continues to move off to the east-northeast, Mecca is up here, Cortland is down here, here's State Route 46. So we're getting into some game land out here, which is great. So hopefully nobody's homes are in the line of this thing right now. But it just crossed State Route 45 as it continues to move to the east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour or so, as mentioned. I do want to take a step out and we're going to look at the big picture again, just to kind of remind everyone now that we are in our 7 o'clock newscast. We did have a tornado watch that was issued earlier this afternoon for the entire viewing area, but the threat now is confined to areas east of I-77. So on the alerts, you're not seeing anything. We are completely severe clear right now in much of northern Ohio in areas west of I-77. East of 77, we have our biggest concerns in Ashtabula and Trumbull counties currently. That will then move out, and once that is out of here, we're done for the night. Stark County, Tuscarawas, Carroll counties, you're probably still hearing some rumbles of thunder, maybe even still getting some rain at this point, but the severe threat has moved out, and there's the little thunderstorms that are still ongoing in that area, but those are not severe. The biggest severe storms are over into Pennsylvania. but we're still dealing with these circulations that have been very sluggishly trying to move through Ashtabula and Trumbull counties at this point. So the back edge of the rain is just coming through Paynesville right now, just headed out toward the Madison area. Geneva, you're about to see the rain really picking up with a little bit of a thunderclap or two that's headed inbound. We also have that very heavy rain and thunder going on in Thompson. That's going to move over into Hartsgrove and Orwell and portions of southern Ashtabula County. And then Trumbull County is right now in the thick of things, most certainly, because that is where we have this tornado warning that continues with the possible circulation that is going on. So we have a whole bunch of different tools that we have at our disposal, which are super helpful. I am seeing the storm that is just to the west of Orwell tighten up just a little bit. Likewise, we still have what is likely a tornado, maybe just a funnel cloud at this point, because we haven't seen any debris picked up on the radar in the last 5 minutes or so. But that is another signature where we have a tornado possible right there, and it's holding together. This is ever so slowly moving to the east-northeast. It looks like it's going to go just to the north of center of Cortland and off to the Mecca area. And as it does so, of course, we're going to track it and just get some more cities in here that hopefully folks have knowledge of and whatnot. It should be over toward the state line area in about 20 minutes. That's the best news of all. If it's moving at 40 miles an hour, it looks to me like it may be slowing down just a little bit, but we'll just keep on with this at 7:16 for Mecca, 7:22 for Johnston, Corinth at 7:25, and Kinsman at 7:29. Remember, the atmosphere does not have roads, so it's just going to go a straight line, and so it's hard to kind of estimate driving times versus actual differences. So if you say, oh, it takes me so long to get from Kinsman to Mecca, the storm doesn't have to follow the road, so it's going to move at a little bit faster clip. So just so you know, that circulation is just west of Cortland right now. Mecca, you are right in the middle of things. So if you are in Mecca, please get into your safety spots, and likewise Kinsman, get everybody moving, because that is coming your direction. Orwell, I would have to say right now you have broad rotation that is just off to the west to you. We watched this exact same scenario set up in Windham, and all of a sudden it spun up a quick tornado. So that is possible right now. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible there in southern sections of Ashtabula County. Geauga County, you're looking much better now. So I'm going to go ahead and say we have severe clear for Geauga County. So Middlefield and Parkman areas west of those areas, totally severe clear, and all the way up to that county line with Ashtabula and Trumbull counties. So Geauga County, severe clear right now, although you still have some rain and rumbles going on. But you know, the heaviest weather is definitely farther off to the east of you at this point.
We've had some tornado reports coming in
Yes.
from this from Portage County EMA. They're sending the county engineer because of the numerous reports of tornado damage from that storm we was watching
Windham.
earlier in Windham. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we had the radar confirmed tornado in Windham. Now we have damage that is reported in Windham, and so definitely something that we will be following up on. Can you make sure the newsies know about that and double check that we've got crews headed out that direction?
Hey, Bets, just real quick, just to put some coordinates on that storm that we're tracking in Trumbull County right now. It's right over the Trumbull County Fairgrounds right now.
Okay.
Likely in the next 2 minutes or so to get over Mosquito Creek Lake, which we've been talking about.
Yep.
And then in terms of Cortland itself, Cortland is more heavily populated south of Route 5, which runs northwest or northeast and southwest. So the good news is it looks like that center of circulation we're tracking is going to be north of the main population of Cortland as it heads along 46, which runs north and south, and then eventually out towards Route 11, which is the interstate that takes you out of Ashtabula County into the Youngstown area. So the good news is in terms of track, it's north of the biggest population in Cortland right now, but the bad news is it's still rotating, and we still need to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that's definitely a big problem for those folks. And it is rotating at this point, but the good news is I'm seeing that circulation falling apart quite a bit just in the last scan. So that is definitely good. So Matt was saying, you know, Cortland here, a lot of the folks that are in Cortland live south of Cortland, but we still have the fairgrounds, and this is approaching Mosquito Creek. So Mecca, you are still in the thick of things right now, as well as Johnston. Kinsman, this is kind of headed your direction as this continues to move off to the northeast, but we are seeing signs that this circulation is really starting to fall apart. Into southern sections of Ashtabula Ashtabula County, we still have some circulation. It's just not real defined right now. It's kind of broad, which is good. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning associated with this. This is going to be moving into the Orwell area and then continuing to move off to the northeast over toward Andover. And it will be into New Lyme at 7:26, Cherry Valley at 7:34, West Andover at 7:38, Andover at 7:41, and then finally over the state line and out of here, so we don't have to deal with it anymore later on after that into 7:45 and beyond. So that is certainly some good news. But by and large, the circulation is really starting to fall apart, which is fantastic news because we're just kind of over the whole severe weather thing for the day today, me more than anyone else. We do have the rain and thunder, though, that does continue. You can see this is really starting to kind of broaden out a little bit. We're losing a lot of lightning, so that's a good sign. That means things are just starting to kind of fall apart and rain themselves out. But the tornado warning and the severe thunderstorm warning for right now do continue into Ashtabula County, northern sections of Trumbull County. This is the the severe thunderstorm warning that we're talking about with that rotation. It's very broad, possible wind damage showing up in areas farther south toward Orwell, and then down into Champion area east of there, north of Cortland, headed out toward Kinsman. We have in Trumbull County a tornado warning that continues. You see this box that just popped up over toward Pittsburgh. That's a severe thunderstorm warning with the considerable tag on it. So they've got some big wind potential that's coming along with that. Our wind potential is really confined to just this one area, and there it is. You can kind of even see on this broader picture where our two areas of concern are. The broader circulation here in southern Ashtabula County, the tighter circulation in northeastern portions of Trumbull County, and this whole cluster of storms continues to move out to the northeast. Team in the control room, I'm not quite sure how we're kind of stacked here as far as breaks and all that stuff goes, but we're just going to kind of continue on with this if we could. Okay, so we have this circulation here in southwestern Ashtabula County. Where you can see the reds and the greens, so that's the circulation, but it's very broad. When we were looking at the tornado in Windham, when it hit, that was a much tighter circulation, much brighter colors at the time that hit, and then it lifted, and then it cycled, and then it looks like we had another tornado possibly touch down around north of Cortland, and now that has really started to fall apart. So that is some phenomenal news. So hopefully Mecca and Kinsman, you will not have any issues from that. You may still have some wind gusts coming through, and you may even end up having some hail, but for the most part, that looks like it's even starting to fall apart. And of course, our friends in Ashtabula County are dealing with this cluster right here in southwestern corner of Ashtabula County that's just about to cross over 45. It is moving to the northeast, so 6 and 45, US 6 and State Route 45 north of Orwell. That circulation is headed up your direction and will continue to move into the central part of Ashtabula County here. Matt Wintz is out chatting with the newsies, but this is his territory. So Matt, if you get back in here, you want to take over and talk through this a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So this one's down by Orwell right now. Running west and east out of Orwell is 322 Popular Road.
I'll run your radar.
Oh, I'm not dressed for TV, Beth.
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right. Well, in Orwell area, you can see we've got, this is that area rotation she's watching. And right along 322 right now, you've got Route 6 here as well. So this is going to stay in southern, that turned really dark. This is going to stay
I'm coming.
Are you restarting the computer, Betsy?
This is what happens when I drive.
There we go. So this is what we're dealing with here. There's 322. This is the area of rotation. So if you're up Geneva, you're fine. You've got some wind right now around Jefferson. You're fine as well. But roaming shores, Rock Creek, you need to be aware of the storm as it's moving in. There is some rotation with that. And you can see we've been showing you the reflectivity. When you look at reflectivity, what you're seeing is rain. This does not show tornadoes. This just shows where the rain is. And you notice how we've got heavier areas of reflectivity, or the reds around this area here, and that is actually looking like a little swirl. And so we can look at the rain and see where that wind is and how it's kind of whipping the rain around. You see as we put it into motion, it's like you're draining the bathtub there in southern Ashtabula County. And as a result, We can also look at the wind within that storm, and that's what we've been tracking. There has been some rotation with that as well. So this is the wind radar. As we look at that, you can see wind coming towards and going away from the radar. And when you have a tight couplet like this just north of the Orwell area, that's the reason for concern. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this storm. This is the same storm that we're tracking through Geauga County. I would not be surprised if there's a wall cloud with this. But wall clouds don't cause damage. As long as it's elevated, we're okay, because it has been rotating for quite some time now, all the way back towards Geauga County. But this will get out in the New Lyme area. It'll stay south of Jefferson. Lennox will deal with this in probably another 5 or 10 minutes or so. But as a result, if you're heading on Route 11, 45, 46 runs through here as well. You want to make sure you're in a safe place, because this storm still does bear kind of what we dealt with in the Portage County area in terms of that threat of a quick spin up with this as it continues to track out towards the east. So you can see the timing there. Thanks for moving that. New Lyme around 7:28, Cherry Valley 7:37, and even getting into the Andover area around 7:45 or so as it holds together as it heads out towards the east. So again, south of Jefferson, south of the Dorset area right now, we're talking areas of southern Ashtabula County for this storm. Elsewhere, if we could zoom on out, there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, we're continuing to keep an eye on that Trumbull County storm, but overall, this is the one that bears the most watching, is that Trumbull County storm has kind of fallen apart. Not a lot of rotation with that. Rain will be out of Trumbull County here, probably another 25, 30 minutes or so. Ditto that in Ashtabula County, but right now it's coming down real good in Ashtabula County, and you've got some lightning strikes around as well. So certainly a formidable storm, but it's really just that little pocket of rotation that we're watching. Down towards the south, still some straggling showers, some thunderstorms down towards the Canton area, getting out towards Louisville. Alliance dealing with some rain right now. Notice we're done with the rain in Akron. Cleveland's dried out. We saw that sunset picture coming in with the live shot. So this rain will be out of here, and after this, we are severe weather clear area wide. You notice how we've dropped that tornado watch in all of our western counties as well. So Ashtabula County, the place that we're watching right now, and it's not even the whole county, it's the southern half of the county again. South of the Jefferson area, that's my hometown. This is floating right along 322 there in the southern half of the county. Anthony, you seeing everything over the Weather Center? Anything new coming in from National Weather Service?
No new updates. We're still trying to wait to see if we get some more updates about any potential damage from those storms earlier. But again, things are appearing to be winding down when it comes to that potential rotational threat for southern Ashtabula County. But again, here's the latest, what we have when it comes to alerts. We still have, again, that warning for, I'm trying to clear some data off here, but again, just to refresh things, severe thunderstorm warning. What's the expiration date on that, or expiration time?
I'm not sure. If you click it, it'll tell us. Yeah, should be out of here soon.
7:45, and we also have that tornado watch. Again, let me just clear some of the data off here. Still trying to get my tools together here, but again, severe thunderstorm warning. It's a 7:45, but not a lot of rotation. We were tracking the threat, maybe some rotation with this storm, but things appear to be on the weaker side with this rotation couplet just to the north of Orwell right here. But again, Matt, just a heavy rain threat, what we're mainly looking at, and maybe some lightning with this, but it's about to be wrapped up.
Yeah, it should be wrapped up here shortly. Now, I don't want us to let our guard down in Ashtabula County. Just because we're wrapping up a day's worth of tornado and severe thunderstorm coverage doesn't mean we need to let our guard down, because you are still dealing with it out in Ashtabula County. So again, southern Ashtabula County heads up over towards the Williamsfield area, Colebrook, again along 322. That's an area to watch. The other area that we're watching, this was that old area of rotation that has produced likely a tornado back towards the Windham area. We're tracking that damage. Anthony mentioned earlier the EMS sending out a lot of crews out there to track some of the tornado damage that was possible back towards the Windham area. This is that same storm. Notice how it's kind of unraveled a little bit. The wind kind of gushed out ahead of it. It didn't have that real tight rotation once we got towards the Mecca area. You can see as we go through time here, it wasn't too well organized as it got into Mecca, just north of the Cortland area, but now it's really starting to fall apart. There's no sign of really much rotation left with this. You'll probably still have some gusty winds as we're seeing just south of the Kinsman area. This will eventually get out into the Pennsylvania side of things. things probably another 5 or 10 minutes or so, but you still have all that rain and some of that lightning to deal with. But Ashtabula County getting socked right now with heavy rain. Still some lightning as well. The good news is we're losing that peak heating of the day, so these storms are going to start to kind of decompose a little bit as we go over the next couple hours because we've lost that daytime heating, and also there's a lot of rain out ahead of this, and so that air mass is kind of worked over as we get into the Ashtabula County area. That's the good news. So hopefully these are on the weakening trend, but again, you can see as we go through time, that little swirl, just the last end of this. And what's interesting about it is typically when storms move in, it's that initial hit, that first raindrop that you get as part of that intense part of the storm. And the way these have behaved is we've had this rain shield that kind of overspread it in advance. So you had just a general light to moderate rain, and then you get hit with the bad part of the storm. So it's kind of backwards the way this line has worked, but the worst part of the storm still is on the back side of it. You'll get hit with some heavy rain, some wind as well, and then the whole thing just kind of falls apart after that, and it clears on out and you're fine. So again, it's this Ashtabula County storm that we continue to keep our eye on here. We still have that tornado warning for northern Trumbull County. That's the reason why we're still on air talking about this, but that should be allowed to be expired here real shortly, as I really don't see, I mean, Betsy, Anthony, maybe you could back me up on this. I don't see much of a threat with that tornado warned storm anymore. It's more keeping an eye on this Ashtabula County storm. What do you guys think?
It definitely looks like it's cutting itself off. And actually on Weather One, I have the time lapse of this thing. And Matt, you can kind of follow those circulations. It's pretty interesting. The two different circulations, you kind of see how they work together and then how they start to shut each other down. The farther south one that you're seeing there, Matt, if you'll point it out, that comes out of Nelson, if we could get rid of the banner for just a second, you'll actually see where that little blip of an orange line pops up. That's when we actually probably had a touchdown and the damage. And then you could see how that circulation just kind of snuffed itself out as it continues to move off toward Andover. Then the northern circulation, you can definitely see it is still circulating, but we've lost a lot of the definition of the airflow out ahead of it. So I think that one is going to start to shut itself down too. So it does look like that tornado warning will end at 7:30. We will send you back to regular programming. Jimmy and Laura, bless their hearts, were sitting in here the whole time waiting.
We got some good weather on 101. That's
yes,
it.
exactly. And then that severe thunderstorm warning is also expected to shut down at about 7:45.
Betsy, you mentioned so perfectly earlier how when you run your hand through bathwater, that's exactly what this is. Pretend this is, the atmosphere is fluid, right? It's fluid. It's always constantly moving. And it's almost like, you know, you're pushing your hand through bathwater there, and it kind of, you get that eddy on the northern side. We saw that with two separate storms today. We saw that with the one down towards the south, which that eddy or that spin on the northern side of your hand, that spun up enough to produce that potential tornado. But this northern one, it's kind of like it was pushing a little bit slower, so you didn't quite get that strong circulation on the northern end. But I would not be surprised if southern Ashtabula County, if we at least have a wall cloud right now kind of floating up above, but that's kind of where it stayed. So if any friends or family out there have any pictures of that safely, would like to know that. But as it went back into Geauga County, it still had that circulation. So in terms of timing of this, again, we're almost done, folks. We've got some heavy rain still ongoing across Ashtabula and Trumbull County, keeping an eye on that circulation in the southern half of the county. Still a few downpours about to head through the Canton area, I-77 corridor. Otherwise, we've cleared things out in the Cleveland area.
Tornado
so that's good news.
Tornado warnings canceled, Matt.
Tornado warnings canceled.
Perfect
So
timing.
actually, this is perfect timing because Entertainment Tonight is coming up next. We will be taking you to that. Of course, keeping an eye on this just in case there might be any kind of a little spin up on the last edge of things. But friends, once Ashtabula County's storm gets out of here, we are severe clear for the rest of the night. We will start tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s. We should be back in the mid-60s tomorrow afternoon. And then our next chances for rain don't get in here until, on Friday. So things are looking good. Weekend right now, we are looking at mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the 50s. I know it's not as warm, but we will be seeing some sunshine and hopefully you'll be able to get a lot done. Just keep in mind, we still have a frost potential late weekend and into the start of next week. I'll give you all the latest on all that coming up tonight on Channel 11, or Channel 3 News at 11.
I don't think that channel
in the
works
meantime,
anymore.
have a great night.